Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. You know, when you fill out your census information form, do you ever wonder what that information is used for? Well, one of the areas it is used is in redistricting. And here to talk about what that is and what it might mean to you and to him possibly is Jose Solorio, Assemblyman. Thank you very much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Okay, so what is redistricting?
Well, redistricting is big and important because in a democracy, it's all about representation. And so we have a system where every 10 years after the census, we redraw the lines. You know, we redraw state legislative lines, congressional lines, and also lines at the local level for school boards, for city, for college districts.
Now, why do they do that?
You know, we do that because population changes. You know, sometimes more people move into a city or people move out into a different area, and so it's important that we take into account population, where the growth is, so that all these districts have equal representation.
Now, who's making these decisions? Because it's different from before. The legislature used to do that.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because in the past, for the state and the congressional lines, the Sacramento legislature used to draw those lines. But the public kind of had enough of that with all these very partisan districts. So the public in 2008 voted for Prop 11, which says that there's an independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, and they're currently doing their work. They had their draft maps in June. They have to finalize them by mid-August, and they're doing a good job being very transparent.
What areas are they looking at specifically? You
know, they're looking at, you know, all these districts up and down the state via the proposition. There are a few things they got to look at, like, you know, geography, compactness, city boundaries, communities of interest, also the Federal Voting Rights Act. They need to be mindful of, you know, not diluting minority population. So a lot of factors, and they're doing great hearings up and down the state. They've had a couple here in Orange County. There's been a lot of good turnout with people talking about what their community of interest is. It's been fascinating.
Well, who benefits? Who cares? Because we all have one vote. So what difference does it make where the lines are being redrawn?
Well, it makes a difference in that if you're a city and your city gets split up too many times, you kind of feel like you don't have full representation. You also have people that feel like, you know, I'm more like this community than that community, and I don't feel represented in Sacramento or in Washington, D.C. So this is about representation. It's also about how money gets distributed, because, you know, money gets distributed based on your representation, so it's very significant.
Now, I read they did a little analysis, and they saw that in the last election, if these new redistricting lines had been drawn, there would have been some changes. For instance, Lou Correa's seat, one you might be interested in. Are you interested in running for his Senate seat if he goes for supervisor?
Well, I am termed out in 2012, so many are asking me to consider running for Senate, for supervisor. You know, I have a year and a half left, so I'm going to look at what all these lines look like and go from there. Okay,
so I split the question. I was asking because his district, the one you might be interested in, would be changing because it will become a little more Republican.
Correct.
Still Democrat, but Republicans are more likely to vote. So you have a particular interest in watching how these lines come down.
Yeah, you know, I care a lot about what all the Assembly seats and Senate seats look like in Orange County. You know, we're losing some power because most of the growth has been inland into the Inland Empire, but for the Central Orange County Senate seat, for a while they even had a little bit of LA in the district. And, you know, does that make sense? Probably not, but I'm just grateful that this Independent Citizen Commission really is looking at all the factors that they should be. They aren't taking into account where elected officials live, which is good, and I think they're doing their job, and I'm just watching it very closely.
So maybe it is minutiae, but it does matter in some races, probably yours if you go there. Thank you, Jose Solorio,
thank you
for being here today. And thank you for tuning in. Stay with us, more HLN next.